What if you could hold the sunset in your own hands? It sounds like poetry, but what if physics allowed it? Imagine, the sun touches the horizon, the sky burns red and gold, time slows down, and you decide you don't want that moment to end. You accelerate westward, not fleeing the night, but chasing the light. It's a human, absurd idea, to defy Earth's rotation and chase something that disappears before our eyes every day. The sunset is simple and untamable. It happens without asking permission, reminding us that time doesn't rewind. But what if there were a loophole, a place on the planet, a perfect instant capable of stretching that moment longer? Scientifically, it's not impossible. The Earth spins at 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator, dragging the sunset across the world. Yet the farther north you go, the slower it moves. The sun seems to hesitate, sliding across the horizon like it doesn't want to leave. Maybe, somewhere in remote Scandinavia, there's a road that runs alongside twilight, a line of asphalt separating day from night. The hum of the engine, the cold air, the sky split between gold and blue, time moves on, but the light lingers. It's a silent race against the inevitable, one that, for an instant, feels possible to win. At the equator, the sun says goodbye in 2 minutes. In London, 5. But the closer you get to the poles, the longer twilight lasts. And if, at just the right spot, it were possible to follow it forever, to drive at the perfect speed, the perfect angle until the sun gives up on setting. Maybe that's what we're really chasing, to prolong what's beautiful. The warmth of an embrace, the instant before goodbye, the light that insists on staying. Chasing the sun is more than physics, it's desire. It's the attempt to delay the end, to believe, even for a moment, that the world can wait just a little longer. But is it really possible? Is there a place where the day refuses to end, where the sun touches the horizon and simply changes its mind? To find out, we need to understand what happens when someone tries to hold the end of a day with speed, calculation, and a touch of luck. Because maybe the answer isn't in the sky, but on the road. Before we dive into the real experiment, before we find out where and when this race against the sun could truly happen, tell me, have you ever tried to hold on to a beautiful moment, even knowing it was about to end? If so, this video is for you. If the idea of chasing the light sparked your curiosity, leave a like, it's what keeps this journey alive. And tell me, what was the longest sunset of your life? Where were you? With whom? I want to read your stories because the best ones come from those who choose not just to watch, but to feel. And if you love imagining the impossible and discovering the poetry hidden in science, subscribe to the channel. Every week we test the limits between the real and the improbable, because sometimes all physics needs to become poetry is a good question. Now, let's see how far we can go before the sun disappears. What if the sunset could last forever? Have you ever imagined driving toward the light, trying to stop the night from arriving? It sounds impossible, but that's exactly what makes it fascinating. Because the sun doesn't really set, it's us who are spinning, trapped in constant motion, believing that what we see fade away is truly gone. Each evening, there's a moment when time seems to slow down. The light shifts in tone, the air thickens, and the sky seems to breathe before going dark. It's the kind of moment we wish we could stretch a little longer. But what if we actually could? At the equator, sunset lasts just over 2 minutes. Quick, almost cruel. In London, it can reach 5. And the farther north you go, the longer it takes for the sun to disappear. There are places on Earth where it seems to refuse to go away, as if saying, not yet. Now imagine, you're inside a car, the horizon burning ahead, the engine humming low. Each curve brings you closer to something that keeps slipping away. The road becomes a thin line between day and night. It's a race against time, and for a brief moment, time seems to let you win. But as the car moves forward, the world changes. The roads begin to fade, the cold grows sharper, and the sun seems to mock your persistence. There are no paved paths to infinity. Still, you keep going. Because deep down, this chase wasn't about the sun. It was about the human desire to hold on to what's leaving. And just when it seems it's all over, you discover a secret. There's a trick. Far in the north, on certain days of the year, the sun doesn't set. It glides slowly, resting on the horizon. And if you drive in the right direction at the right moment, you can follow it. It's possible to stretch the sunset for almost an hour and a half. Not eternal, but as close as we've ever come. As the car races, time bends. The light is no longer dusk nor night. It's something new, somewhere between real and impossible. The sky changes slowly, so does your heart. And for the first time, you feel that maybe time doesn't have to end, it just needs to be lived more closely. And then, as the sun watches from the side, and the engine breathes with the wind, one simple truth emerges. The sunset was never the end. It's just the planet turning, the day moving elsewhere, and us trying to stay inside what never repeats. Imagine for a moment that the sunset isn't just a beautiful sight, but a precise, almost mathematical phenomenon. It begins the instant the sun touches the horizon and ends when its final line of light disappears. Simple, and yet an illusion. The sun doesn't sink, the earth turns. We only feel the day is leaving because we're moving away from it. What we call sunset is actually a delayed reflection, light bent by the atmosphere. It's the planet gently deceiving us, softening the truth that everything is in motion all the time. That's why the sky changes color. Blue stretches, orange spreads, violet appears. Air particles play with the last thread of light before it escapes. And it's curious. At every sunset, the Earth spins at 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator, yet what we feel is calm. No wind, no tremor, only the silence of something immense happening at a steady rhythm. Maybe that contrast, invisible chaos and visible beauty, is what captivates us. When the sun grazes the horizon, time seems to hesitate. It's as if the world takes a breath before turning the page. Science measures that instant in minutes, but the heart feels it in eternity. Because sunset is more than an astronomical event. It's a reminder that movement doesn't need noise to be profound. Look closely, and you'll see no two sunsets are ever the same. Each color depends on the air, the humidity, the Earth's tilt, where you stand, even how you feel. It's as if the planet paints a personalized farewell every day. And within that silent spectacle lies a simple truth that science can explain, but the soul refuses to accept. The sun never really leaves. It just moves somewhere else. At the equator, everything happens too fast. The sun touches the horizon, and in 2 minutes, it's gone. No ceremony, no goodbye. A moment so brief it feels like the Earth blinked. Barely enough time to notice the change in light before night falls. But the farther you move from there, the longer it lasts. Shadows grow, the sky stretches, and the world seems to breathe slowly again. Think about it. There are places where the sun never sets completely. It descends, drags itself along the Earth's edge, and before disappearing, changes its mind. That's what they call the midnight sun, an eternal instant that exists only because Earth tilts at an imperfect angle. And thanks to that cosmic flaw, we get the miracle of long night. But here's a curious detail. Sunset isn't the same for everyone. It depends on where you are and how you move. Physics calls that frame of reference. Life calls it perspective. While someone lives the end of a day, another is witnessing its beginning. While the sun bids farewell in one place, it's being reborn in another.
There, the sun doesn't set. It just circles as if the sky forgot to turn off the light. Small houses, frozen lakes, silent mountains, all suspended under a glow that never fades. People live under constant daylight, caught between sleep and waking. They call it the day that never ends.
If this video made you feel something, or think differently about time, or simply look at the sky with new eyes, leave a like. It's a small gesture, but it keeps stories like this alive. And tell me in the comments, in just one word, what stayed inside you. Light, if you connected with the sunset. Time, if you realized how fragile it is. Or still here, if you just want to remain in this moment a little longer. If this is your first time here, welcome to Hypothetically, the place where science and poetry meet. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next question. Because in the next video, we'll explore something even more unsettling. What if dawn never came? Watch now before the sun disappears again.